Just like that, folks, we have characters. We have Marcus the pizza boy and Evie the scene girl, but they're soon to be leaving their past identities behind. Although, who knows? Maybe Marcus will continue to make pizza. Maybe that's how he does magic. Who knows?
He has a penchant for
He
good
does
pizza.
pizza magic.
He does pizza magic.
Oh,
Everybody
gosh.
needs the one friend who does pizza magic.
Pizza magic, yeah.
Obviously.
Hello, fellow geeks. Welcome to our first episode of Tangled Blessings. Katie and I are doing a little duet playthrough for a few sessions just to give a little break between Stolen Fate and our next kind of mini-series, which we'll talk more about later. And yeah, we decided to pick up this game. This is a game that you could probably play in a single session, but we're gonna just really take our time with it and explore the nuances. And what game, you might ask? It is a game called Tangled Blessings. Tangled Blessings is a solo journaling RPG or a two-player RPG, which is how Katie and I are playing it. We are both going to take on the roles of students at a magical academy for adults. We've both gotten our Harry Potter letters, as it were, and we are headed off to magic school. But this is magic school with a dark, somber twist. So excited to dive into that genre. Tangled Blessings is written by Cassi Mothwin and published by Mothwin Productions. And also, if you're watching the video version of this, you will see our screen capture of Tabletop Simulator, where we have a tarot deck ready to go. We are using the Ghost Tarot deck created by David Corsi and published by Llewellyn Publications. If I pronounced any of that wrong, I apologize. I took my best shot. But yeah, this is a game played with tarot cards. So if that's up your alley, then hopefully you'll enjoy this. I know Katie and I both think tarot cards are pretty neat. Anything you want to add, Katie?
I don't think so. I think we should let the fates decide who we are, and then more fate deciding.
Yeah, so today's session, we're going to go through character creation, which is pretty quick and easy. And then hopefully play through year one of our 4-year academic program. So yeah, we'll just kind of dive into it. Katie and I have never played this game before, but we heard great things, and yeah, you guys will experience it along with us.
Whether that's good or bad, we're so gonna find out.
So our characters have been recruited, enrolled, I guess, admitted to.
I think called to.
Right? To? Yeah, that's probably the right term here. Called to Brackroot Academy by this magical thing called the Speaking Gem that is sort of this like legendary gem that calls out to people with like a gift for magic and the supernatural. Generally, it speaks to you in your dreams, and that's kind of how you start hearing it. And then at Brackroot Academy, the Speaking Gem like shows the professors and the headmaster like, oh, this is, here are the students to recruit. So both my character and Katie's character have appeared in the Speaking Gem. We've been having dreams potentially, or have felt kind of called by the Speaking Gem in some way, shape, or form, which we will explore as part of character creation here. And then just a little bit about the world where this game kind of takes place. It's a magical universe within like the real normal world. So there's a whole, secret world of magic and magic users. I'll just give the little blurb, the start here. So if you yourself are eventually going to play this game, this is where you start. You start with character creation. It says the Speaking Gem usually calls to adults in their early 20s, but you may adjust that to fit your idea of who attends this academy. And we have a few questions to answer for ourselves. I can ask these questions, Katie, but I don't know if you think that your character will be informed by what house they end up sorted into, I suppose, because that's also part of that'll be our first card draw, actually, is figuring out which houses our characters are sorted into.
Yeah.
Technically, the order is we answer the character questions first and then we draw house cards, but what are you feeling?
I never feel that order because then I answer the questions and I inevitably end up with something very opposite for whatever reason.
Well, it does say that the speaking gem tells you what house you're supposed to be in, but you can lie and call out a different house. So maybe we should create our characters first, because that could give opportunity to figure out if we even fit in our houses that we're supposedly called into.
Okay, fair point.
Katie's like, pull it. Okay, fine.
Fine.
If
you
we
come
must...
up with your entire concept with zero guidance, just answer questions. Everyone thinks that's so easy. Just consider the question.
It is. It's tough when it's wide open like this. I am actually going to not start with the first one, which is always the hardest to answer right off the bat, is what is your name and what are your pronouns? I don't know who this person is yet, so I think I need to give their name a little more thought before I propose one. But I don't know, are you struck with inspiration, Katie, or do you want to go to the next one?
No, I think we should go to the next one. But with the next one, my question is, should we pick an era that this is in? Should we go modern day? Should we go not modern day?
Maybe let's go like early 2000s. So it's sort of like before real smartphones were everywhere and doing everything, but like there were cell phones and like technology and stuff like that. What do you think of that?
Yeah, we could do that.
I don't think it'll actually matter too much because we're going into Magic Academy world where things might feel a bit removed anyway.
It's true. Okay, I have an idea for question 2 then.
Oh, okay. I would love to hear it because I haven't come up with... Well, what is question 2? Why don't you share it with the class?
So question 2 is, how did you receive the letter from the headmaster?
Hang on, really quick. Should I read the letter? Because they have a letter in here, and that seems like good context.
Yeah, where's the
Let me read you the letter, and then you can tell us how your mystery character received said letter.
I'm ready.
Okay. From the desk of Headmaster Elvis? It's Elvis with an A-S, not an I-S, just to be clear. Although Headmaster Elvis would be funny. Elvas, sure, we'll go with that. To our future student, it is with great pleasure that I'm writing to inform you of your acceptance into the halls of Brackroot Academy. This is likely the first time you've heard of our noble academy, and that is not by mistake. Brackroot Academy is a long-established school for adults showing a natural aptitude for the arcane and the unseen. We do not choose students based on applications or standardized tests. Instead, we rely on an ancient gem attuned to the esoteric properties of what laymen might call magic. The stone's origins are unknown, but it reveals students from across the world who possess a connection to the supernatural. Recently, it showed us your image. Should you accept this invitation, you'll have a month to tie up any loose ends. Our academy is a 4-year commitment, offering summer and winter breaks. You'll receive a full scholarship that includes room and board, healthcare, and meals, as well as a small allowance for personal expenses to improve your quality of life. You're also entitled to a domestic pet, because obviously. While here, you'll refine your sixth sense, gaining access to spells, rituals, enchantments, portals, and many other aspects you likely thought only possible in fiction. Should you wish to hear more, simply open a journal and write, "The path to Brackroot calls to me." If you do that, I'll invite you on a tour so that you can see the grounds and ask questions about what's expected of you. The only requirement is that you keep Brackroot Academy a secret. We can help you establish a cover story, along with more complicated paperwork. We so hope to hear from you. May the clouds part at your whim. Dr. Emerson Elvas. So this letter came to you somehow, some way, Katie. That's not actually your name in this game, but to be named character.
TBN?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so early 2000s. We have chat rooms, and we have the infamous AOL and MSN. And so, this letter comes via an AOL chat, to which gets an immediate response of some emo lyrics back because she's not actually at her desk.
It's an auto response.
It's an auto reply.
That's hilarious. Through a
That's
chat
how-
room.
Yeah, it's through, well, it's a personal chat. I just wanted to establish our chat rooms. But it's an AOL chat, auto reply, when she thinks it's a joke. Because it's probably like Headmaster E225.
I love the idea that the headmaster has an AOL account just for such matters.
You gotta.
Does your character respond right away? Well, not necessarily, like, because we're supposed to then write in a journal to accept the admission.
Yeah. I think this might be taking creative liberties with this game, but I'm going to say. So I think she ignores it at first because you get spam messages every once in a while. So I think this message comes first to an AOL account and then cycles to like an MSN account and then over to MySpace. Like it keeps showing up in these different digital platforms that she lurks on. So after the third time, she kind of is convinced that maybe there's something more here. Not that she can find anything right now. So she grabs her green math notebook and she writes the phrase in the green math notebook.
I love it. My character finds the letter on like a public bulletin board.
Okay.
Like where there's a bunch of, like advertisements and posters and
the
personal
phone
ads.
numbers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's just, and it's a super messy bulletin board. It's at like some dive pizza joint where I think my character works there at this pizza joint. And it's one of their jobs, just like at the end of every week, to just like clear off the posters and ads that are no longer relevant, that like maybe the event has passed or there's like something spammy that we don't want on there, that kind of thing. And they could have sworn like that it didn't catch their eye before, but now suddenly for whatever reason in this moment they see it. And I'm trying to think of how they might have reacted. I think they tear it off the bulletin board because they also think it's maybe some kind of joke played on them. And then I think after a few more days at this dead-end job, they finally respond in, I don't know, probably just their like personal little journal notebook. Okay. Question number 2. Oh, well, technically that was question number 2, but question number 3. What loose ends did you have to tie up? I can go first if you want a little time.
Do it. I'm still thinking.
I don't think I had many loose ends to tie up. I was working a dead-end job at this pizza place, and man, I am feeling like maybe I should name this person now. I'm gonna name him. I'm gonna use he, him, I think. I need something to come to me. Speak to me, speaking gem. What is my character's name? I'm gonna go with Marcus. That feels like a dude who would be at a magic academy, right?
I mean, Marcus definitely gives pizza boy vibe. Pizza boy? I didn't like that.
Boy. Pizza boy. Marcus pizza boy. Now my character sounds really lame. He's gonna become a lot cooler though. I've said Marcus enough times, I think now I have to stick with it. So
you may have to commit, yeah.
This is Marcus. He works at a dead end. Well, the pizza joint isn't dead end, but it is a dead end job. He wasn't really smart enough to get into college, and so kind of just fell, through the cracks of like post high school, pre-career job kind of abyss. And I guess his loose ends is just with his parents, who he lives on his own, just barely making rent. And he tells them that he got into some incredibly exclusive like academic program basically because he knew that would make them very happy, but he was like very, and I think that the headmaster hooked him up with like an acceptance letter, you know, and like, and here's the schedule, and here's like, and like due to, you know, the strenuous like academic achievement of the school, you know, like contact is limited, etc., etc. So I think he got everything squared away, but other than that, he doesn't really have anyone who would miss him all that much if he just upped and left to Brackroot Academy.
I like Marcus.
Marcus the pizza boy.
Marcus the pizza boy.
Have you figured out what loose ends... Well, have you figured out any more about your character and what loose ends they needed to tie up?
Yes. So you inspired me to go find a name, so I did. Her name is going to be Evie. And...
Can I tell you something really funny? Before I came up with Marcus, before I, like, the concept of Marcus, not the name necessarily, when I was just sort of brainstorming, like, what names could I use? The first one that jumped in my mind was Ivy, and it would have been hilarious if we had Ivy and Evie as rivals at the Magic Academy. It's like so an anime funny. Waiting to happen.
Shing, shing.
Yes.
The whole thing.
Okay, I'm sorry. Sidetracked.
No,
Evie, I love it.
Evie and Evie. So funny. Yes. So Evie. And so I think Evie looks the part of a scene girl. So she's more on the emo side. She's got the self-cut hair with the long colored extensions in it. There's like some bright reds and blues. It's very clashy. That's how she likes it. So I think loose ends wise, she was going to a community college already, like had started, and it's kind of that I'm going to community college so I can get at least some of my degree done before I figure out what I want to be when I grow up moment. That was her. She was in some like art programs. She did like the poetry stuff, so she'd go to there. So she had kind of a community of fellow artists and friends there. So her loose ends were kind of tying up those groups. Though she was a little conflicted at first to kind of leave those groups because those were kind of her first I have a family type situations, and so now she knows this is a really good opportunity. So I think for her, the headmaster probably came up with like this prestigious art school that she got into where she was going to be able to nourish that creativity, but it was also very immersive. And because it's so immersive, no one's going to be able to get to her. And that's what loose ends she tied up, and they figured the school out and everything. So those were her loose ends.
Love it. Cool. I like the scene girl idea. Okay, next question. What do you hope to gain by becoming a mage?
For Evie, I think she hopes to gain an understanding of the unseen world and how to harness that to bring, not to bring it to reality, but kind of, to bring it, to give it more life, to give this unseen something that she can harness, that she can make her own and use it like really for creation over anything.
A true artist.
A true artist, yes.
That's cool.
So what does Marcus hope to gain by becoming a mage?
Marcus the pizza boy
Marcus
wants
the
to become
pizza
a mage because I think he's never really aspired to much in his life, but I think with this new path opening before him, he's never aspired to anything before, mostly because it's just never felt possible. And so I think this is the first time in his life where he feels special, like, oh, maybe it is possible for me to achieve something. And I think Marcus maybe has a bit of I don't know if he's gonna go this way. We'll see. I'm kind of leaving it open in my mind, but like I could see him potentially having a penchant for like power hunger, not really to like become like, oh, I want to rule the world, but just like he's sort of got a taste now of like, oh, like I am special and like I am talented, and he starts to believe that. So yeah, I think he wants to become a mage because he wants to become somebody.
Okay, like a leave my mark on the world type.
Yeah. Okay. He wants to matter.
I like that. I think that's cool.
So that could be noble and great, or it could be
Marcus might be the villain of this story.
I don't know. We'll see. And then the last question is, how did the speaking gem talk to you in your dreams? Let's see, in my dreams, I think Marcus has always been a pretty sound sleeper, but I think leading up to the letter, maybe in like the weeks before, he was having really bad insomnia and like really fitful sleeping, and he could never remember his dreams or like what was kind of keeping him awake. And it wasn't really fitful in the way that like stress dreams are, like you wake up and you're like, I feel terrible. Like it was more like he would wake up and have the feeling that like almost like he had the feeling like he was just somewhere else, or like he just forgot something. Like, what was it that I would like? Why am I in this room? You know, like that kind of feeling of like, gosh, it's like just on the tip of my tongue. But he couldn't ever pin it down until he saw the letter. But he couldn't ever pin it down until he saw the letter.
That's cool. I think
what
that's
about
neat.
Evie?
I think, let's see. Evie's was in dreams, still following that artistic line, but it was she would be like doing something or be with people, and she'd either touch things or come in contact with things and they'd like crumble. She didn't know why. Things were just crumbling. And she'd always wake with this sense of, I might be able to fix, or I could fix that in my next dream. And it was always just a sense of, I can fix it, I can make it. But she never could in her dreams. So there was just this sense of, there's like one thing missing for her. And it's there, but it's not. I think that's how it's cool. For her.
That's awesome. I like that a lot. Okay, those are our character creation questions. Just like that, folks, we have characters. We have Marcus the pizza boy and Evie the scene girl, but they're soon to be leaving their past identities behind. Although, who knows? Maybe Marcus will continue to make pizza. Maybe that's how he does magic. Who knows?
He has a penchant for good pizza.
He does pizza magic.
He does pizza magic. Everybody needs the one friend who does pizza magic.
Pizza magic, yeah.
Obviously. Okay. You know what we didn't mention, though?
Yeah, what?
Our characters are supposed to be rivals.
That's an excellent point. Because in character creation, if you were doing this solo, you create your character, and then part of sort of the, like, continuing to flesh everything out is you create your rival, and they are a feature throughout all your time at the Academy. In a 2-player version, Katie and I are just playing the rivals, so thank you so much for mentioning that. I forgot to call that out. But yes, we will see how Marcus and Evie eventually evolve into rivals. Rivals, just also in this game, just so you know, it can kind of be interpreted in a lot of different ways. Doesn't necessarily have to be like a hated rival. It could be like a best friend, but you know, the friend you're kind of always trying to one up, or a lover, but you kind of have that competitive like relationship with them. So anyway, it's and you and your rival feature in each other's memories, like going back and forth. So Yes, it will be fun to see how the pizza boy and the scene girl interact and come together.
That's actually the anime Pizza Boy and Scene Girl.
I would not have guessed those were the descriptors for our characters when I opened this game, but here we are, and I'm not sad about it.
It's the times.
It is the times. That actually feels very fitting for the era that we picked. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, all of that fits.
So the next phase of playing is our first card pull, which is what will determine our house assignments for each of our characters. So KT has kindly pulled the major arcana cards 1 through 5 into a pile and shuffled them. And we will each pull a card to learn which house we've been assigned. Although importantly, we could be in the same house. So one of us will pull a card, then we will reshuffle all of them, and then the other person will pull a card. And there are 5 houses, which makes sense because there's 5 cards that we could pull. And I will just very quickly I'll tell you the names of all of them in case you're interested in knowing more about the game. So there's the House of Celestials. There's the House of Dahlias, as in the flower. There's the House of Panthers. There's the House of Spires. And there's the House of Elements. So, we shall see which houses we get, and each of them have their own crest in the book. It's quite cool. So, yeah, I'm pumped. Do you want to go first for Evie, or do you want Marcus to go first? You're in control of the cards here, so.
I am in control of the cards. Marcus should go first. I just decided that.
Okay, Marcus is gonna go first. So, in the fiction, what is happening is the students learn their houses by touching the speaking gem, and saying out loud what symbol, which house crest the speaking gem shows to them. However, you can lie if you want to, but the speaking gem will always know. So, I think game-wise, we'll pull whatever card, and then Marcus could decide to go with that house, or I could, pull an Uno reverse and pick a different one.
It's true.
Okay. Right. I'm ready. Go ahead.
Okay. Here we go. And you are 3. That's cool.
3. Which is the House of Panthers. That's kind of the one I was hoping for.
Of course. So cool.
Let me read the description for House of Panthers. The panther needs a garden to rest from its daily stroll, and the dahlias always supply. Oh, really fast, one quick thing is all 5 houses kind of are interdependent. They are competitive, but they depend on each other at the same time, and so it's like a cooperative, competitive relationship they all share. So each house description sort of includes the other houses in its description. Anyway, let me start again. The panther needs a garden to rest from its daily stroll, and the dahlias always supply. The panther is a symbol of grace, athletics, and agility, but still elusive and rare, a fierce creature of the shadows. Students in this house often carry one or more of these marks: observation, punctuality, or ruthlessness. The storm is at the edge of the forest. I think that Marcus is surprised when this is the symbol that appears in his mind, but he decides to trust the speaking gem and go with it. Yeah, I don't think he considered himself panther-like, but yeah, he trusts the intuition, and so you'll see how he fits into this house. Katie, you might get the House of Panthers. It is possible. You have a 1 in 5 chance. So
I might, but also this just does not lend credence to Marcus being the villain of this story.
What? It's ruthlessness is one of the marks of the House of Panthers.
Yeah. So.
Oh, so you're saying that it makes him more of a villain of the story?
Yeah. I'm saying he's not beating the allegations so far, is what I'm saying.
See. What if the mark that he identifies with is punctuality? Okay, that's not a villainous trait.
Could be.
It could be. You're right. All right, what's Evie gonna get?
The same thing.
Bum, bum, bum. That feels right. You should pull another one, just make sure you didn't stack the deck with all threes. What if you were like, I want to get in the House of Panthers, and so I'm going to make sure that all of these cards. Okay. All right, I believe you. I believe you.
Okay.
How does Evie react to this?
Evie finds that interesting as well, though she, in a moment of perhaps vanity, does believe that she herself can be elusive and rare in her own way, and she also accepts it. And she's not gonna lie about being in the House of Panthers.
That's cool. All right, we're in the same house. That will be interesting.
I even shuffled that deck 3 different times. I just want everyone to know.
It was meant to be. The cards have spoken. I guess the speaking gem has spoken. And the speaking gem is not wrong.
Works. Yeah.
Okay, with our houses decided, now we put all the major arcana back together in one pile and the rest of the cards in another pile. If you're playing solo, then you would use the major arcana deck to figure out who your rival is and kind of their like archetype and personality. So that's what you would do that way. But since we are each other's rivals, we can move right along to the next part of getting started, which is we choose our specialty, I believe. Yes, you choose your specialty. So choose an area of intuition or skill where you always shine. Maybe you've never had a problem with pointing out poisonous plants. Maybe you can predict the words and melody to a song on the first listen. Maybe you've always felt like when you wish someone good luck, they actually do have better fortune. Maybe you've always found it easy to persuade a salesperson into giving you a discount. Maybe you always manage to buy the last item in stock. Maybe you're fantastic at painting portraits even though you've never taken an art class, or maybe you've never been sick. Essentially, this is how magic manifested around you in the mundane world. You shaped something without knowing. What is Evie's specialty?
That's such a good question.
I mean, do you think it is related to her art?
No, I don't think so. I think Evie's always practiced her art, and like from a young age she's learned that if she practices she can improve and improve and improve. So I don't think it's that. Well, maybe it is. It's like a supernatural ability to just really focus on that thing, and it not in a hyper focusing kind of way, because she can still step away, manage the rest of her life, and come back to that same focus without needing, like, say a recharge or something like that. That's something that's always just, if she focuses, it's there, it's ready, she can keep going without having to lose her train of thought.
Flow state on demand,
yes,
basically?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
That's exactly what it is.
I'm
Me
extremely
too.
jealous.
This is me wish fulfilling what I would love. No. Yeah. Everlasting flow state. Wouldn't anybody love that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. I love that. That would also be incredibly useful for an artist like Evie.
What about Marcus?
For Marcus, I was trying to think about this, because I don't think he's ever really felt incredibly special, but I think that Marcus has, I think he is someone, like, he's always had a knack for like doing things by feel. So like cooking, like making pizza. I know we said pizza magic. I'm not, this is not a meme, I promise.
Nope,
but
it's
like
pizza magic.
He would make the dough, like he can kind of measure the ingredients by feel. Like even in things like where you have to be really precise with baking, you know, like he just kind of always felt like he knew, yeah, that's about, 2 cups or whatever, and it was always right on. And same with like, he was like always killer at the like, guess how many beans are in the jar games that, like he just he would just kind of get an inkling of like, I don't know, it looks like it's maybe 42 or whatever, and he just had an eye for things like that, and it wasn't really something he could ever explain, and also not something that like felt miraculous enough that he kind of took notice. It was just kind of like, oh, well, lucky guess, that type of thing.
Is he okay? Now I gotta ask, because this just drives me nuts in my own life. Was he the guy that said you just do it until it tastes right?
Yes, but he just does it on the first try.
Right.
Too. Like it's not, he never really had to like experiment and try again. He just like
he just
do
knew.
It. He just knew that this is how much salt we need here, or like that's how much. I'm trying to think of things beyond cooking, but it's it's just like he kind of could always tell the right amount.
Yeah.
Of things.
Man.
Just by
see, I want that. Yeah, he was always good at approximating.
Yeah.
No matter what it is. He's a good approximator. Wouldn't it be great to look at a wall and go, yeah, that's 14 inches.
Yeah, oh my gosh, hanging pictures. He was like always
He's
like
so good at it.
Yeah, I think this one goes about here, and like this is about 14.
And he always had it level.
Yes, yeah. All the things that Tori try to do by feel and fail at, that's the stuff that Marcus is able to just do without much thought. Yeah.
See, now I'm jealous of Marcus. Great. I'm glad that have
Marcus,
these characters.
the pizza boy, is not so plain after all.
Sure.
Okay. So we're ready to start pulling cards and talking memories and stuff. But before that happens, since we're playing a 2-player game, we get to talk about how Marcus and Evie, future rivals, met for the first time. What was their first meeting? I think it's convenient that we're in the same house.
Mm-hmm.
So that definitely lends itself to a natural meeting point, but I'm curious if you have any initial thoughts. To maybe give some inspiration, our house headquarters, whatever, our dorm, our house. I prefer our house's house.
Okay, fine. Our
that's
house's
what I'm
house.
gonna call it. Our house's house is at the edge of the woods, I believe. There's a little map in the book, actually. Oh yeah, we're like all the way at the edge of like the deep, dark looking woods, which is kind of cool.
That makes sense.
So yeah. Do you have any initial thoughts?
Man. I think I have a scene that I could probably set, and then do you want to build off of I'll just set a scene?
Sure.
Okay. So, it is near the end of day 1. We have seen the grounds. We've taken a tour of where we're going to start learning. We've been sorted into our houses. We've eaten. We're feeling pretty optimistic about the next 4 years of our lives. And so the sun is starting to set. It's a mild night. You can start hearing the wildlife coming out. The forest is growing darker, but the trees are still casting long shadows. The sun is setting. It's this purpley orange mix as the sun goes down. It's very pretty. And I think Evie is she doesn't want to go inside yet. So there is a figure lying on the grass, maybe 20 or so feet from the entrance of the house.
The house. Thank you for using the official term.
You're welcome.
Marcus is headed back from the mess hall, I guess, the dining hall, and he hasn't really made any connections yet. We're still very early in the year. I don't think classes have even quite started yet, and so he's just headed back to the house to, I don't know, read or whatever. I think he's actually distracted by the sky. He's admiring the colors and whatnot when he actually trips over Evie lying in the grass because he just was not paying attention and didn't see her. So he goes stumbling over her and kind of falls, like his like sneakers are on top of her as he's like face down in the grass and they're kind of tangled up. Sorry about that. I didn't see you.
Do you look down ever? Ow.
And as he gets up and is brushing himself off and fixing his like ratty t-shirt that's not really worth fixing, and he kind of like checks to make sure Evie's okay. I'm really sorry. I promise I didn't mean to do that. I was just looking. I was distracted by the. It's stupid. Anyway, I'm really sorry.
She brushes out her long hair, sits
Is
up.
she still looking scene girl? Like, has she kept her look?
Yeah, she's kept her look. I think she's kept her look. She rubs at her side and brushes at her hair. I think I get it. The sky, I assume, is what you were distracted by.
Yeah, I've just never seen it this color before. But again, I'm really sorry. Your hair's cool. I'll let you get back to whatever you were doing. And he starts kind of backing away, sheepishly.
She rolls her eyes, but she touches her hair like in silent acknowledgement of this compliment, and she pulls herself to her feet. You're fine. I just wasn't expecting someone to trip over me in the grass. I guess it was my fault for lying down, but I can't blame you for admiring that.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem like there are maybe better places to lie down. But it is my fault. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that. I should go away somewhere else.
Are you going to the Panthers?
Yeah.
I'm in the same house. Come on, we'll just walk together. She holds out her hand. I'm Evie. He
hesitates a moment longer and then holds out his hand a little timidly, and then he shakes it with a surprising strength in his grip that like you wouldn't really expect but based on how he's acted up until now. I'm Marcus. Nice to meet you, and sorry it's started with tripping on you first. I'll try to make a better second impression.
Hey, yeah, my ribs would actually really appreciate that.
And I think they go walking back toward the house together in, I think, just like casual small talk. Marcus starts to loosen up a little bit as he recovers. And yeah, I think they have like a friendly evening.
Yeah.
As some of the first people that they have met at this place. Also, I'm realizing I didn't really describe Marcus. I mean, I guess maybe whatever you guys are picturing when I say Marcus the pizza boy, but I do think he has a bit of he's not a surfer bro, but he sort of has like that laid back, unkempt vibe to him. Just his closet, he's like a cartoon character with just a closet of t-shirts of varying plain colors, all of them somehow stained, and jeans. That is all he has.
It's 100% what I was picturing.
Okay, good. Then accurate. Marcus the pizza boy. There you go. He's also not very graceful.
No, what?
What?
I like that. I was thinking Evie is just average height, not the petite type scene girl, but just average height, regular build. Clothes are just on the slight not fashion side. kind of cobbled together. Mismatched patterns, whole thing.
Cool.
She thinks it matches.
I like it. I guess one thing that we may, well, I suppose we can discuss this as we go, but it occurs to me that perhaps Brackroot Academy might have uniforms, or like
It's
a dress
an academy.
code. It is an academy. It seems like maybe the place that would have something like that, but we can figure that out as we go.
Yeah.
I think that is the last bit of setup, and now we can start year 1. I'm going to run through the sequence of how things go. This is for the solo version, but Katie's going to explain where we've adjusted rules for the 2-player version. It's largely the same though, so it's this is how the game actually is played. You recall memories over your 4 years, basically, at the Academy through the tarot cards. And each card is going to reveal a prompt, and then the Major Arcana card is going to kind of give you some foundation for how you respond to that prompt. And I guess just also to set ourselves in like the mindset, where our characters actually are and what they're actually doing right now in present time is they are like at their final exam at the end of this 4 years. And we are just each remembering back all 4 years that we've been at Brackroot Academy. So the way that the game is played is in these memories that are leading up to the final exam, and then you kind of see how you do on your exam and blah, 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 blah. So that's where our characters physically are in time and space in relation to the events that we're actually going to be talking about in the memories. So at the beginning of each school year, you draw 3 cards from the corresponding minor arcana deck: wands, cups, pentacles, and swords. You place 3 in front of you, which, Katie, I think we're going to do 2 each for 2-player,
we're going to do
right?
2 each, yep.
Okay. You can do 3 each for 2-player as well, but we're going to do 2 and kind of see how that goes. Then you flip over the first face-down card, the first minor arcana card. You read the prompt associated with that card. Then you draw a card from the major arcana deck, and you use that card to inspire your response to the prompt. Then, if you are doing the journaling version, you of course make a journal entry if you like. Think about how your rival factors in. In our case, Katie and I will think about how our rival characters factor into each other's memories, and then you basically continue until you've gone through all of the prompts. Obviously, we're not journaling, Katie. Do you want to explain just the little bit of difference between the 2-player version here?
Yeah, so for the 2-player version, we're, like Tori said, we're going to play off of each other, but we're going to ask, so after we draw, we're going to ask each other these following questions in our memories, which are: how were they involved? How do they remember the event? And did they hear rumors that made it sound worse?
Yes, and to be clear, that's after, like, let's say it's my memory, I respond to the prompt with the major arcana card, yada, 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 and then I ask Evie those questions of, what's her take on this memory and how was she involved, etc. And then we go back and forth until we get through year 1 at Brackroot Academy.
And, I want to mention too, so the prompts are the minor arcana. The way the major arcana informs the prompts is, I think the game does a really cool thing here, where it lets you interpret the major arcana that you draw with it. You can use just looking at the artwork. You can use, like, if it's drawn and there's a certain emotion that you feel, you can follow that emotion. Or you can have it be informed off of what the major arcana says in the booklet of your tarot deck. Or you can use the internet. Or if you're really not feeling it, you can draw another one. I think that's all very cool to inform those memories. I think the game uses that really well.
Yeah, I also think it's kind of a cool take within the journaling RPG genre to have sort of a prompt, which is not all that abnormal, but then to have something to draw on that informs your response somehow. That kind of gives you some inspiration for which direction to take with your response to the prompt, instead of just, here's your prompt, go wild. So yeah, I think that's cool. Shall we flip cards, Katie?
We shall flip cards. Okay.
We are officially entering year 1, which is the suit. I know words. The suit of wands is year 1 of our academic career. And before I forget, an important part of playing this game is tracking the cards that you draw. If you are journaling, that will be easy enough because you will probably be writing down, what card you drew anyway and the prompt and everything. But for me and Katie, we need to keep track of the cards that we each draw because it factors into the very end of the game. So I will be keeping track of that for us. The minor arcana cards that you draw. The major, they will get redrawn and shuffled a bunch of times over. All right.
Okay. So I'll lay out 2 for me on the left and then 2 for you on the right.
Love it.
Okay. So we have these, and I believe we do this one at a time. Answer the prompt, and then the next person reveals. And does the same thing. Okay.
You want to go first, Evie?
Sure. Let's see what we got. That is the queen?
That looks like the queen to me.
That is the queen.
Would you like me to read you the prompt? Or do you have it ready? Okay, I can handle the prompts for us. You can handle
the prompts.
I got this. Okay. Queen. Here we go. You were bruised and injured in a training duel gone wrong, and you struggled to find your magic for several weeks. A professor took pity on you and tried to help you through your training without the magic. How did you cope with this loss? What mental block did you have to overcome to get your magic back? Who hurt you, and was it an accident? Which professor helped you, and did you appreciate their help? That's a lot of questions. I'm happy to repeat anything, but wow, I actually am immediately thinking how painful it would be for Evie to lose her flow state, access. Right? That would be crazy.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to draw my major arcana to see how that informs it. I'm a little afraid after that prompt. Okay.
I know. Did we mention this is a dark game?
Okay.
It's dark.
Okay, who are you? Is this kind of looks like the devil? XV. Okay. That is the devil. I was right.
Okay. Good. Excellent.
Oh, okay. So this is kind of fitting because it's the devil, which can represent materialism, our shadow self, temptation, addiction, but it also can hint at awareness or freedom from attachment, and it's a signal of being tracked by fears and desires and habits, trapping is part of its thing. So
that's
what a prompt.
Yeah. Do you want me to read it again or read some of the questions again that are attached to it?
I think I've got it. So it's I was hurt in a duel. Mm-hmm. I lost my magic. Yeah, I lost my magic, and then a professor helped.
Yeah.
Okay. So this duel was probably one that was supposed to be more defensive, learning different defensive things shielding or all manners of deflection, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what was going on. And there were set spells at first. I think this was a kind of early on. There were a set list of spells that you could use for the deflection, and then also a set list of spells that were used for the attacking, but they weren't really damaging attacking kinds of spells, just enough that they could be pushed away. But if they got you, oh, you have a dead arm for 10 minutes or something like that. I think that in this duel, Evie was going through the list and everything was just going in order as it should have. She was using each of the spells. And a person from a different house. It's going to be from the House of Elements because one of the markers of the House of Elements is negligence. Okay. This is how I'm going to tie this in. So, someone from the House of Elements decided that they found some really cool spells on their own that they were going to slip in and really test these defensive spells, because if these simpler spells were going to be deflected, why wouldn't, more advanced ones? Because of course. So this person from the House of Elements learned a spell
What's their name?
Oh gosh, their name's Megan.
Ugh. Megan. I'm just kidding. Anyone named Megan out there?
We're sorry.
I'm sorry. I don't mean that. I know a lot of really great Megans, but this particular
Megan?
Fictional Megan, she sucks.
This Megan
don't like
sucks.
her.
So this Megan, she found a spell that shot basically bludgeoning objects. Actually, it was objects in the room, which are,
Oh, it was like a telekinesis
kind of a telekinesis kind of thing. She didn't realize the radius of said spell, and it threw, picture frames. It threw stuff on desk. It actually threw a desk. Evie was able to duck the desk, but just got inundated with everything else, and it shattered the shield that she had put up because it was not a very strong shield. So it left her pretty bruised and beat up and just pretty hurt from, being buried in a mountain of things. Evie felt like she could have maybe done more to sustain what she had learned, or maybe have been able to think faster on her feet, because she knows how to pivot in artistic situations. If something's not working, she can move on to the next thing and really try to make it work. But she wasn't expecting this, what she thought was maybe an act of maliciousness of this person just doing something so out of left field so early on. It caused her to just doubt that she was a quick thinker at all. So her coping ended up being just, when she was out, she'd list off every single way something could go wrong or try to be prepared for every scenario. And because of that, it just severed her link to her magic, because she was trying to think of every different scenario instead of letting it come to her. She was trying to force it all. So a professor tried to help her through studies, help her try to refocus her mind on something else, or point out that that's not a normal thing that would happen, and sometimes people are going to do the unexpected, and not everyone, people aren't going to be able to prepare for that. The professor certainly didn't prepare for that. She appreciated it in the end, because this professor showed her in a way how to start guiding herself back, finding her center after being put off kilter. And this professor's name was Professor Magnum.
Magnum PI.
Magnum PI, yeah. Professor Magnum. Yeah, so I think that's the memory. So my question, did Marcus do anything after this incident? I assume he was there and kind of witnessed it.
So you think we were in the same class here?
Yeah, I think we were probably in the same class.
Sure. yeah, this is your memory, so.
Yeah, I think this was a kind of a big class. It was one of the intro ones, so
it's
it was
like
like
with a
the
101.
Yeah, the 101
like you gotta
classes.
take this class.
Yeah. This was a non-elective. This was a core
non-elective,
class.
Yeah. Okay, so Marcus was okay. Yeah, Marcus was next in line. Like if this were like a soccer drill, you know, like he was next in line to go after Evie. But, you know, obviously after this accident happened, things were kind of put on pause. And while Marcus was concerned about Evie, like in the way that you would be like, oh my gosh, the person just got destroyed by a bunch of classroom furniture. I think that he also was kind of miffed that he didn't get his turn.
Oh.
And, he does blame Megan, but not... He kind of secretly blames both Megan and Evie. Like, he thinks, like, okay, Megan was out of line bringing that wild spell, but also if Evie had been better at the shield spell, then, like, we could have continued class and it didn't have to be such a big scene. So, okay. Yeah, that's Marcus's private thought, I suppose.
Okay.
I don't think he ever tells Evie this. Well, yeah, I think that's how Marcus remembers the event, I'll say.
Okay.
So,
okay. Remembers
kind of
it
on the sidelines and a little like, okay, like if that, yeah, it's it's like the kid who flops at sports practice, and you're like, come on, like it's not that big of a deal, it's just a desk.
It's just a desk to the face.
A desk. It's not a big deal. So
I have one more question to that end then. Mm-hmm. So I kind of assume the school's a little bit of a rumor mill, because what school's not? Like, let's be honest, especially an academy.
Yeah, obviously.
Did he contribute to the rumor mill, or like try to dissuade anything after maybe hearing that Evie couldn't access her magic for a few weeks? Like, there were some rumors going around about she doesn't have her magic right now.
I don't think Marcus is a gossip. I think he has I think he's starting to get sort of this, he's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, as I've discussed, but I think he passes judgment inside. But I don't think he feels the need to go, like, share it with everyone else. He's not really, like, someone who, like, gets people on his side, and is like, oh, I heard this about this person. I think he just sort of makes his judgment on what happened and moves on. So when confronted with, like, gossip and stuff around it, I think he was just sort of idle to it. Like, people told him, he just kind of responded carefully and neutrally and didn't feel the need to pass any of it along. But he did log that information away, and I think privately he thought to himself that perhaps Evie was just continuing to be a little overdramatic with the whole event.
Okay.
She is a scene girl. She dresses very dramatically, so...
Fair enough.
I think he takes the whole thing as just Evie was just being a little extra.
A little extra. It's just a desk.
It's just a desk. Relax, okay? People throw desks at me all the time. It's not a big deal.
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
I have magic.
Okay.
I like that. Okay. That is Memory 1. And I'm going to reshuffle this major arcana here like 4 times.
Just to be extra sure.
All right. Are you ready for
I'm ready.
Marcus
Let's do
memory? Okay. We have... This is the 9 of Wands.
The 9 of Wands. Okay, here is my prompt. You and a partner gave a presentation on the alchemical properties of marble, but afterwards your partner told everyone that you didn't contribute to the project. Oh, that's IRL Tori, like a worst nightmare. I would absolutely lose it if that happened to me.
Same. Mm-hmm.
The other students in class shunned you and refused to hear your side of the story. Oh my gosh. To prove your knowledge of the subject, the instructor required you give a second presentation. Your solo presentation went over well, but the other students still seemed disinterested in working with you. What did you present over? Oh, I see. So what was my second presentation about? What did you present over? Who was your original partner? And why do you think they lied?
Let's see what arcana you get with that.
Yeah.
This is 21 is the world. So the world represents fulfillment, achievement, and harmony. It signifies like major life cycles or completions of projects, bringing closure, and a sense of being connected to the universe is what the world is about.
Okay. I'm pondering. I mean, it does feel like it fits like with the completion of a project because that's what this one is all about. Okay. My second presentation was about the application of magic in cooking. Because I think, you know, if you like are suddenly having to do a makeup project, like Marcus is going to lean on what he knows, and he didn't ever go to college. He was like a very mid high school student, so the only thing he really had experience in was pizza making. So he gave this presentation. It went over fine. He got a passing grade, but I think that, you know, obviously that like the students were not really willing to believe his story still. And I think his presentation didn't really help him in that respect because like the original one was like the alchemical properties in marble, and then suddenly Marcus is like talking about like pizza and food, so I think like the students continue to think like he's not smart enough to have done the original presentation. So my original partner, I think, was a student. Oh, let's pick a house for them. I don't think it was Evie, but I think that this is a student from, I think, the house of Dahlias, because some of their marks are creativity, perfectionism, or obsessiveness. So this student's name is Claremont. They, them. And they are just extremely intelligent and extremely competent. And I think the way Marcus sees the situation is basically they wanted to be perceived as such, basically, like that they didn't want to, that Marcus, I think this is continuing to feed into his complex of like, I really want to be someone, you know, worthwhile. And I think that he thinks that Claremont decided that he was not like worthy of being associated with their work. And so that's why they like left him off the project, basically. Yeah, so that's what Marcus believes. And I think, if I may sort of bring Evie into this scenario a bit, I think Claremont is someone that Evie by this time had started to kind of hang out with. Maybe not like besties, but like started, like Claremont and Evie kind of hung around in the same circle. And so Evie would probably have been privy to like a bit more of Claremont's side of the story. So I guess I want to ask is, how was Evie involved in this?
Yeah, I was actually totally like, yeah, Evie probably knows Claremont, like in a hangout, like kind of way. During the course of the first project, Claremont would, like when they'd hang out, he'd kind of bemoan the fact that he was doing most of the like research and he had everything together, and Marcus just didn't ask questions, and he didn't understand the intricate pieces of marble and the alchemical properties. He just doesn't understand all of this, because all that Marcus wants to do is say there's this much stuff in this many things. And Evie kind of agrees with that and is like, yeah, Marcus just isn't like the focus type, and she doesn't see really his effort, because most of the interactions that she's had with him are either he's tripped over her, or she just hasn't seen him in any kind of action. He's always just, I think, kind of standing around when she sees him. And so she totally is like, yeah, Claremont, I'm so sorry you're doing all of the work. Like, I can't believe you have the worst partner ever.
Do you think, this is your response, so I just, it's an idea, you can take it or leave it, but do you think that Claremont, whether intentionally or not, gets the idea from Evie to basically claim full credit?
You know what? Yeah, I could see that,
like from
actually.
This conversation.
Yeah, like there's this conversation of like, I can't believe that you have to put everything together, and you keep saying that he's just not getting it. So I don't even know why you're going to give him any credit in this when you guys both go and present it.
Yeah, and Claremont, I think, kind of walks away from that conversation with a new plan in mind. Yeah, so I guess how does Evie feel whenever this like kind of revelation spreads through the class that supposedly Marcus didn't do any work on this project and he's giving his new presentation?
It's one of those suspicions confirmed with the, oh, so you're going off of cooking now? Like,
yeah, ooh, give me an image. Marcus is giving his presentation. He kind of scans the classroom, and his eyes fall on Evie during the presentation. What does she look like? What does her expression say?
Yeah, her expression, she has the slightest quirk in the eyebrow, and she makes eye contact with him, and she does this little head tilt, like, that's the best that you can do. Really? So you go with food? It's that look.
Very unimpressed.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. It's pissing me off already. Feel the anger flow.
Let the hate flow through.
Cool. Okay. What is your second prompt?
My second prompt. All right. Flipping.
Oh my goodness.
5. That is alarming. There's a booty.
There's a booty. Booty warning.
There's a booty.
Okay. A 5 of Wands. Here's your prompt. You were forced to partner with your rival while performing divination work. You both saw a glimpse of a shared future. What might await you? How did your rival react? How did you fight fate? Oh, what a cool question. What a cool prompt.
Okay. I think this is death.
Oh no.
Like, I'm pretty sure.
I was like, it's gotta be death or the lovers, and nothing in between.
Nope. Okay, this is 7. Oh, never mind. All wrong. This is, this is the chariot.
Oh, yeah, I should have known that from the fact that it has a chariot in the art.
That's, that's why I said duh.
The character looks very
the guy's
Grim
a little
Reaper-ish,
scary.
so,
Yeah. Okay. So
the chariot.
The chariot. Few things with the chariot. It's like determination and victory and taking action to overcome obstacles. Confidence. On the flip side of it, it can be a loss of control or like others driving you or being disorganized or aggressive actions. So there's your balances.
Cool. Okay, so we saw a glimpse of a shared future.
Good.
How does Evie remember this? What might await you? How did your rival react? And did you fight fate?
All right. So divination work. I imagine it's in like a desktop cauldron. Like
a desktop, it's like a little mini one.
Yeah, like a little
like
mini
a little
one. It's not.
One. Okay.
It's not a teacup because that you would bonk heads too easily. So
okay,
I think it's like, you know,
they've got like a
little
Bunsen burner kind of set up.
Yeah,
and like a little baby cauldron. I like it.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're leaning over. They're looking in. Evie sees a scene where we'll go with the loss of control element here. There is some kind of chaos going around. Like there's just like figures are rushing around in the background. That it's kind of blurred, but there's like rushing. And Evie sees her and Marcus standing incredibly close to one another. There's heavy breathing, and of course, and there's a kiss where she leans up into Marcus and kisses him, and the divination cuts off.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love it, and I love that it happens in the middle of class. Where
right?
We're both just like, ah.
Also, I imagine this is like, we're into like spring semester at this point. Like,
okay, it's been a few months now.
Yeah. It's been
several months, I guess.
It's been several months. Yeah.
Interestingly, part of your memory is how did Marcus react?
Yes.
So I'm curious what you envision.
Okay.
Or how Evie interpreted Marcus's reaction.
So Evie, absolutely floored by this idea that this slacker guy that she's been paired with now, who doesn't do his own projects and does really simple things and just seems
always
so
wears the school uniform kind of semi-incorrectly.
Yes, like there's
his tie is always loose. He's got a few stains on his shirt at all times.
Like, can he eat properly? Just like once, no stains. Also, could he stop catching things on corners? Not everything needs holes in it. Just saying. She primly sits back with her lips pressed together, and she sees Marcus still staring intently into the cauldron, even though there's nothing there. And she even whispers that and shoves him a little bit, and she swears she sees this like smirk of like, I'm gonna hold this over you later. That's what Evie remembers.
And then did you fight fate?
Yeah, actually, I think Evie fights it. At least she makes sure that if there are scenarios in which Marcus the pizza boy appears, she has started calling him, by the way, pizza boy.
Yes, of course. Good.
So anytime pizza boy is around, she always makes sure that there is at least 1 to 2 people in between them at all times. She tries to fight it that way and just like avoid it, because he was so smirky when he saw the same thing, and she is not gonna let him have that satisfaction. That's like, it's cemented in her brain.
That is not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen.
Okay,
she
what questions do you have for me?
All right.
Marcus's end.
Marcus, how did Marcus feel after seeing that divination. Or I guess, did he see the same? Actually, no. Did Marcus see the same thing?
That's a very interesting question. I think yes.
Okay.
Though I think perhaps the difference is that in the way you described it with Evie, you said that Evie kissed Marcus. And I think the way that Marcus saw it is Marcus initiated. Like Marcus kissed Evie. And I think that his memory of this whole thing is he stayed staring down at the cauldron because he was just like petrified to look and see how Evie like reacted to that. I think it was twofold. One, he didn't really want to see how real life Evie right now in this moment was going to react, and two, the scene kind of concluded too quickly for him to see how future Evie reacted to this kiss. So like he initiates the kiss with Evie and then it kind of just like clouded away, and so he kept watching because he's like, but like, was she pissed, or like was she happy about that? Like, was that the right decision, or a terrible decision? So he's kind of petrified, staring at this, and I think what Evie saw as a smirk was he put on just kind of he tried to put on like a casual smile and just like play it cool. And then I think the next thing he says to Evie is he just looks over at her and he says, I don't think we're doing this right. The thing must be broken.
Yeah, it's definitely broken. I didn't really see anything, actually.
Oh, so you didn't?
No, I
see.
All I saw were the two of us and our noses. You need to trim your nose hair.
Well, maybe you need to trim your mustache. And he, like, his face is beet red. He looks so embarrassed, and he just kind of like, he also can't believe he just said that. He gets up and he gets the bathroom pass and just runs out of class.
She definitely yells after him, yeah, you should leave. I think Evie, you know what? I think Evie and Claremont Evie will gossip Claremont about this.
Spill the tea with Claremont.
She's gonna go find Claremont and spill this tea.
I love it.
Continue to act weird, and there's always a 2-person rule if Pizza Boy is around.
Just keeping a literal phiscal distance. Yeah. Okay. I like it.
It's a future bookmark,
Yeah. I really like that.
We're shuffling.
Okay.
All right.
The end of year 1. Well, not quite the end yet, but my last memory of year 1.
All right. 'Tis 8.
Oh, pretty.
That was pretty.
One day, you were swimming in creative energy. Okay, I was expecting that to be literal swimming, but now my image is adjusted. I guess it could be literal swimming. All right, let me start again. One day, you were swimming in creative energy, and you made a new enchantment, imbuing an object with never-before-seen magical properties. What was the object? What did you do with it? Were you able to attempt the magic again?
That's interesting. All right, let's see.
I feel like the Major Arcana is going to be very informative here.
Ooh.
19?
Oh, yeah, this is actually so cool. It's the sun.
Okay.
And the sun is like success and clarity and enlightenment and vitality. Yeah, it's like optimism and simple joys.
Wow.
And, like, that's the sun. here's the reverse. It could be this makes sense too. The other side of it is like temporary setbacks or self-doubt or delayed success, but like this is generally it's a pretty positive card.
Okay. I'm also trying to keep Evie in mind here because I think it's really interesting that like Marcus is swimming in creative energy, which seems like a very Evie state.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think of how like she factors into this. What kinds of art tools does Evie like to use?
Evie really likes pencils.
Okay, I like that. So I think that Marcus, I think one day Evie leaves behind one of her pencils in, which class should this be? We'll say it's the I don't know, alchemy. That's the one that Marcus failed the presentation in.
Yeah.
That seems like a class you'd have pencils in. So Evie leaves behind one of her pencils. And Marcus like finds it on the floor as he's usually one of the last ones to leave class. He's not very organized and slow in packing up his stuff and everything. So anyways, most everyone else has filtered out of the class. Marcus sees beside Evie's desk on the floor one of her pencils, and it's very well used. Is Evie a pencil chewer?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. It's very well used, very well chewed, and Marcus reaches down. He would know this pencil anywhere, having been now spent almost a year with Evie in various classes, has seen her use pencils like this all the time. He picks it up and thinks about like seeking Evie out immediately to return it, but instead just kind of holds on to it. And something about the pencil just kind of makes him feel lucky. Like this is some kind of, it just feels right to hold on to it for a little while. So he does, and with it, he is doing, we'll say he's working on a project for a runes class. One where he has to draw
like
and
the
sketch
rubbings.
things. Yeah, rubbings, and also like writing the runes themselves and kind of creating runic patterns and like different magical formulae and stuff like that. And he just reaches this flow state as he's working on this project, and he realizes like time just kind of goes past, like he doesn't even really notice it. He's just so in the zone. And when he kind of wraps up, he thinks he may be on to something, that with this particular set of runes, he thinks he can create basically like a healing water bottle, like a bottle of water that like refills with like healing water.
Okay.
And there are healing potions. They've probably made such things in alchemical class and stuff, but he thinks that he's found some way to make it like perpetually replenishing. And he realizes that the pencil he was using for this homework was Evie's pencil. And he doesn't even really remember pulling it out to do the project, but so he goes and he finds an old like metal water bottle and scratches these runes into it, and it works. Despite like this flash of inspiration and this successful experiment, he kind of feels like it was a one-time thing, and he's kind of okay with that. I'd say just one kind of random day, he leaves the pencil outside of Evie's dorm room. Not with a note or anything, he just like leaves it on the ground and doesn't say anything about it. But he gets tons of praise and like extra credit and everything, and the professor's so impressed by this water bottle that Marcus was able to enchant. It's very uncharacteristic.
That's
like
so
he's
cool.
he's been an average achiever in this particular class, but this one just like blows everything out of the water. So yeah, that's Marcus's memory. I would like to know if Evie realized her pencil was missing, and well, I guess first of all, did Evie ever realize that her pencil was missing?
No, I think she not only is a pencil chewer, but a pencil loser as well. Like, she's like, oh, great, another one. Because she'll, like, twirl them up in her hair and, like, use them as a holster. And sometimes they just fall out. Or she, just, like, kind of leaves them haphazardly. I mean, she uses them. It's like the person who uses most of a bottle of chapstick, and then like one day it just falls out and
it
like,
just disappears. Sure.
Yeah. Like, well, there goes that goal. That's Evie. She chronically loses her pencils, but it's not like a huge tragedy. She just gets another one.
Okay. What did you think of Marcus's project when it finally came to light?
Oh, she's seething. She's seething because Evie's been a good student, like great marks. Like she is near top of her class, but she hasn't quite gotten to like the pinnacle thing, right? It's year one, so she's between her setback near the beginning of the year with the duel that went wrong and like the confidence shaking that had, like she's really worked to get past that, to get over it, to also make people forget that happened, while also striving to be that top spot that out of nowhere Pizza Boy has a self-replenishing healing water bottle. Are you kidding? What? Who did this for him? She starts a rumor, actually. She's this mad about it. She gets Claremont involved, and they start, like, eating the rumor mill that there is a professor somewhere who has made a deal with Marcus, and they are sneaking around, and because there's no way a first-year student could have done this, and there's no way that Marcus could have done this. So there's a rumor mill starting.
I love it. One last question. Does Evie see Marcus leaving the pencil by her door?
I don't think she does.
Okay.
I think that she opens the door one morning and sees the pencil and goes, like, did I kick this? Or maybe it fell out of my hair or my back pocket.
Yeah, could be anything.
Yeah, could be anything. And she just is like, oh, my pencil's back.
That's awesome. I love that Marcus kind of like accidentally stole some of your magic to do this incredible thing.
Yeah, what the hell? Actually love it.
Ruthlessness, right? That's one of our marks.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And punctuality. I'm waiting for the punctuality to come into play here.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. Okay, that is the end of year one.
Right. Yep, that's it.
Okay.
That is year one.
So our school year is finished. And then before we end this particular session, we have a couple of questions that kind of cover the break period between years 1 and 2. And so we will dive into those. You had a break between your first and second year, as you do. The questions are as follows. How did you spend your downtime? Did you miss having access to magic, or did you remain at Brackroot Academy? And what did your rival do during this time? Which I assume we will both answer naturally.
Yeah.
What did we
what
do
did Marcus
during our break?
I think Marcus should take I kicked off the year, so I think Marcus should take this.
Okay. What did Marcus do? Well, okay, hang on. Before I continue, this is a little bit... I want to know if Evie stayed at Brackroot Academy over the summer or not.
Well, I think she does, because she's...
Okay.
It's the lingering pissed offness in Marcus. Yeah, she stays.
Okay, so then here's what Marcus does. He tells everyone, most everyone, like anyone who asks him, I should say, that he's going home for the summer and that he won't be here. And he kind of goes through the like goodbyes with everybody as you do, you know, hags, have a good summer, see you next year kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Including Evie. Though I don't know if Evie would have asked, but one way or another, Evie heard that Marcus was leaving. And he doesn't actually leave for the summer. He stays and just keeps a low profile, and he keeps practicing. He really applies himself to something for the first time. Because after this first year, and especially after the whole win with the enchanted healing bottle, like, he's really feeling like, okay, yes, this is my path, and if I put in the effort, you know, I can do incredible things. And I think he told everyone that he was going home because he's started to see this reputation as like a slacker and an underachiever perhaps as an advantage to get people to underestimate him.
Okay, sure.
So for those who weren't like sticking around, which I'm going to say maybe it's not common for students to stick around over the summer. Mm-hmm. So I think he just kind of expected everyone from his house would be going. And so he kind of just was fine for them all to believe that he was also leaving. But actually, he's studying the blade, as it were. Not the literal blade. He's studying the magic all summer long. What does Evie do for the break? And then I would maybe as like a little bonus prompt, I'd love to know how it goes when they first run into each other over summer break after Marcus we should such a show.
We should play that out. So I think Evie does the opposite. She makes it a show that she's staying. I'm gonna be here. I will miss you all terribly, but I really am serious about like learning and perfecting and like beating Marcus. And she like makes sure that Marcus can hear her say this at some point. Like, he's gotta know. Hers is also more about making connections with the professors who like might stick around and really forging like those relationships and learning more, probably just more about the school itself, more about the small town area. So she stays, but she's also learning like the history of the place itself and not just, okay, I'm here to study the magic. She wants to know everything about the place, because it's, you know, it's like with an artist, they want to understand the subject to be able to create better, etc., and all of that. So that's mostly what Evie does, is maybe not so much practicing as just absorbing what she really couldn't while classes were going on. I mean, because who has time? Probably. So she spent the summer learning lore.
I love it. So like in the library.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff.
Library, and locals, like, yeah, out and about. Like, obviously, it's underground society stuff, and I imagine where she goes is probably not populated much by magic people, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, we do have a handful of locations on our cute little map here. True. There's the chapel and graveyard, there's the Forbidden Forest, and there's the Whispering Lake. So plenty of options to go exploring. I think Marcus first runs into Evie, I think near the Whispering Lake.
Okay.
If that's okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to say there are some, kind of a la Stonehenge. There are some like very old stones with magical runes on them.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since this whole enchanted bottle incident, the professor of the runes class has really taken a focus on Marcus, like thinks that, hey, man, there's like something really promising here with this student. I think that professor pulled up a little list of names. How about Professor Ulori?
Ulori. I like it.
Professor Ulori. So Professor Ulori has taken a keen interest in Marcus since the enchanted object incident and has him doing a bit of like a faux summer project type thing. So when we run into each other over summer break, Marcus has been doing everything he can to avoid Evie and any other students who might be like lingering in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And has so far been successful. Maybe this is like 2 weeks in. It's not like so long that it's unbelievable, but long enough that Marcus should be well and gone by now.
Right. Yeah.
And he makes his way to this group of stones with the runes as part of one of his little study projects, and he's just supposed to take some rubbings and take a look at them and that kind of thing. And he is surprised to see Evie like set up in the middle of them.
Yeah.
What is she doing?
Yeah, that's actually what I was picturing. She's got the pencil that Marcus gave back, and she is sketching the stones and the runes in the stones and like little details around. So she's making just a very detailed picture of all of that.
Yeah, you hear you hear like footsteps crunching up the path, and then you can't quite see through around the stones, but then turning the corner you hear like a oh god, and then like a shuffling of papers as a bunch of pages fall to the ground as Marcus like kind of flinches back when he realizes that Evie is here, and he's been caught.
Evie also freezes, actually. Like, it startles her because she isn't expecting anyone, and she was just in a very deep, like, I'm gonna get this detail right. It startles her, and she tries to, like, regain her cool pretty quickly, but she recognizes that voice, and she tosses her notebook down on the ground. But she doesn't stand up. She just straightens and she points at him. You said you were leaving.
Yeah, I was going to. And Marcus is like scrambling. He's like half crouched trying to pick up the papers before they blow away in the breeze, and so he's split attention and stuttering. I was, and then my plans changed. His plans never changed for you? Is that so unbelievable?
Yeah, actually, it's pretty unbelievable. And she's getting up on her hands and knees and like grabbing a couple of the papers that have gotten away from his grasp, like holding them hostage. It is unbelievable. This was my plan, and you made such a show that you were leaving. Why are you here?
Like I said, my plans changed, and so I'm here. And why are you here anyway? You're just doing another one of your dumb sketches?
Dumb sketch? No, I'm learning, dumbass.
Okay, well, that's now what I'm trying to do too. And he tries to reach for the pages in your clutches.
She rips him back away and steps back. It like scrambles back. She's not on her feet yet. Scrambles back. I think these are mine now.
So are you like sitting? Are you like
let's see. So she grabbed him, and then when he tried to pull him away. She did that, you know how you fall onto your butt and back after you've been in like a crouched position? Yeah. She does that and she tries to like push herself further away with the heels of her feet.
Okay. Marcus has gathered up the rest of his pages now, and he looks like... Evie, you see kind of the same flustered boy that you met at the beginning of the year. And he looks like he's maybe about to back down and just take what pages he has left in his little pile. But then you kind of see something shift in his eyes. And he, like, lunges forward and grabs your wrist. Not in, like, a... Not hard, not like yanking you or like a violent, aggressive way, but just like he goes for the pages and he like grabs your arm, and I think kind of like ends up maybe with too much forward momentum, and like you probably both kind of fall down a little bit, and he's got like your one arm pinned on the ground, and as you're both like on the grass.
She alarm bells because this is not the 2-person rule between them anymore. So she's panicking, but she's still got the papers clenched tight in her pinned hand. Those are hers now. She looks at him and tries to stay that panic and that memory of that divination. I said these were mine.
I heard you. And his voice is kind of like a little gruffer, and he is looking at you and his cheeks are kind of flushed, and he then just like blinks and with his other hand like grabs the rest of the papers from your grip. You probably tear like some of the pages a little bit, and he just like gets up and just walks away. He like abandoning what he'll research these runes later, but yeah, he just stomps away.
She lets out a stands up herself and marches after him to the edge of the stone hedge things, and she throws tosses the ripped bits in his directions. You're infuriating, and I don't know why you're here, and you keep walking. Ugh.
I will, he shouts back over his shoulder without looking behind him. And,
jackass!
That's our summer break. Official end of year 1. Yay! We did it, Katie.
We did it. I like that.
Our romantic rivals thing is we're right on track.
Yeah, I feel that
right along.
I feel that the story is storying.
Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. This has been Tangled Blessings again, so you can check it out. It's on DriveThruRPG or itch.io from Cassi Mothwin Productions, and we are super excited to be back for another session for years 2 and 3, and then we will do one last one to wrap up year 4 and the final exam. See how that goes. So hope you guys have enjoyed it.
We're gonna have to see where our rivals go next.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think, okay, I didn't read really any of the prompts in this game, but I did accidentally read one, and things get darker, and I'm so pumped for it. So I can't wait for next session. It's going to be very cool.
We'll have cups and pentacles to look forward to.
Be very exciting.
And there's a freaky piece of art. That's fun. I did scroll to the freaky piece of art.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool art in the book. If you like solo RPGs or you want a fun little game for just you and a friend, pick up Tangled Blessings, and we'll be back with more next time. Till then, take a long rest, drink plenty of water, and we'll catch you next time. Bye!